In my last video, I told you that I have written a book, The Homeboss Toolkit, and in this video I want to show you what went on behind the scenes, what was the process. Hello Homebosses, my name is Nuria Corby from thehomeboss.com. Welcome to my channel, which is all about helping you to create money online with self-publishing. So, a lot of excitement last week. I showed you my video reveal of my book, The Homeboss Toolkit, Branding Successful Self-Publishers. And it's been a really interesting process to write the book, and I wanted to share that with you because it might help some of you if you're thinking of writing a non-fiction book or even a fiction book or whatever you're thinking of writing. The process that I went through might help you on your journey. So what made me want to write this book? Well, first of all, as I said in my last video, I am creating a course on branding because I noticed that the books that were really selling consistently well for me all have something in common, and that is that they are part of a brand. So this can be a publishing brand or an author brand, depending on your books. They all have that in common. And I wanted to share that with you because I think it can really help your book sales to create a brand around your books. And as I was creating the course, I realized that actually I could even write a book about this because I was writing the lessons for the course. So it was a no-brainer. I decided to release a book on that topic. And that is what I showed you last week. So the process was quite easy in a way. It wasn't easy because anything that you do for the first time is always a bit of a learning curve. And as you know, I started in 2019 creating low content books, and it was a natural progression to then make children's picture books. And as you know, I've got a course for that as well, and that course was very successful, and people have created amazing children's books in that course. So that's why I thought I'll create a branding course for you. And the book just evolved from that. And because I have created low content books, it's then much easier to write a book. I think if somebody wants to write a book and they haven't created low content books, it's a little bit more difficult because everything is new. For me, it was a little bit easier because creating low content books has already taught me how to upload the books, how to create them, and so on. But obviously creating a written book is slightly different. So I started writing the book in Word. To me, it was very difficult to get the book in the right format. I didn't know how to format it properly in Word. It just became really difficult. And I found this software that I then started using, and the software is called Atticus, and this software is by the creators of Publisher Rocket. So it's created by Kindlepreneur, and I like any of their products. I love Publisher Rocket and I love Atticus now for writing my books. The process was quite simple. You can write in Atticus itself, or you can write in Word and then copy paste it into Atticus, but I found it easier to just create in Atticus. And I copy pasted the lessons that I had created for my course, but then I found that it was much easier to actually just write in Atticus. I think this will depend on each person. Some people will prefer that, and you will have to find out what's best for you in that sense. But it was quite intuitive to use. They do have tutorials on how to use their software. It's quite intuitive, so it's not too difficult, and I was able to format my book really nicely. I'm really happy the way it's turned out. It can create a content page for you. It can create a dedication, all the front matter and the back matter for your book. I found it really easy to use. So I'm very happy having used Atticus. I can really recommend that software if you want to create your book that way, but you can also create it in Word and in Google Docs, and I'm sure there's other ways to create your books as well. By the way, if you want a really good resource to go to if you are writing books or you're going from low content into fiction or non-fiction, the two channels that I can really or actually the 3 channels I can really recommend to you. First of all is the Kindlepreneur channel. The second one is Keith Wheeler Books. You all know that I've got a podcast with Keith, and he knows so much about writing. That is a really good resource for you to go and check out. And the other one is Dale Roberts, and Dale has a fantastic YouTube channel and podcast as well. So I'll leave those in the description below in case you want to check them out. So that's for all of you who want to venture into writing books. And the other thing that I wanted to let you know is that I didn't just publish it on Amazon. I wanted to go wide and publish on other platforms as well. And I had several choices. There are so many other platforms that I looked into. There was Ingram Spark, there was Lulu, there is Draft2Digital, there is BookVault. There are so many different platforms that can distribute your book outside of Amazon. So I started by uploading my book to Amazon first, but what I didn't do is I didn't tick the expanded distribution box on Amazon. I left that blank because I didn't want Amazon to do the expanded distribution. I wanted a different platform to distribute my book. And as I said, I had a look into all these other platforms, and in the end there were 2 front runners. There was Ingram Spark was one of them, and Draft2Digital was the other one. So I wasn't sure which one of the 2 I wanted to use. And in the end, I made a decision based on something very, very simple. I basically chose one of them because I found that their upload process was simpler and it was very easy and very user-friendly. And that was Draft2Digital. So I published my books on Draft2Digital as well because they have such a wide reach. They put your book on Barnes & Noble, on Apple Books, on Kobo, on all sorts of other platforms, and the upload process was very simple and similar to uploading your book on Amazon KDP. So I had no problems in uploading my book to Draft2Digital. And the other reason I didn't go with Ingram Spark, because I could also go with Ingram Spark, but I didn't because there is one clause that was bugging me a little bit. The problem with Ingram Spark was that you have to really tick that you accept returns. What that means is that if a bookstore, for example, wants to order a bunch of your books and they don't sell them, they can then return them to you so that they can get their money back. And it makes sense because any bookshop would probably want to have that feature where they can return the books that they bought if they don't sell them. So the problem is that if that happens, Ingram Spark then sends the books back to the author, and the author is then presented with the cost of that. So you then have to pay for all those books, you have to pay for them to return them to you, and it's a bit messy in my opinion. So the alternative would be to not accept returns on Ingram Spark. So you can upload your book and not accept returns. That is a possibility as well if you want to do that. But I thought maybe other bookstores are not that keen stocking your books if they haven't got the option to return them. So in the end, I just chose Draft2Digital because I just thought it was easier. But I will look into that situation a little bit more, and who knows, maybe I will still upload those books to Ingram Spark, and if I do, I will let you know on this channel, definitely. The other thing I did is I also published those books as an ebook on Amazon and also on Draft2Digital. So Draft2Digital have 2 options. You can publish your ebook and you can publish your paperback as well. The only thing that Draft2Digital don't do is color paperbacks. So if you want to publish a book in color like a children's book, then they don't have that option yet, but who knows, they might include that in the near future. I hope they do, because uploading to them was really, really easy. So that was my experience with Draft2Digital, and I will leave a link below this video as well where you can find my books on other sites that are not Amazon. And the other thing that I wanted to tell you about was the ISBN situation. ISBNs are the numbers that they give books. It's the International Standard Book Number, and every book has an ISBN. And if you remember, Amazon used to give us a free ISBN for all of our books, but they changed that, and now they don't give us an ISBN for low content books, which makes a lot of sense because low content books do not need any ISBNs. And you can choose to publish with Amazon's free ISBN for your written books, or you can buy your own ISBN. And I bought my own ISBN because I wanted to publish on other sites as well. If you use Amazon's free ISBN, I think you can still publish on other sites, but Amazon really owns that book. ISBNs to me are a little bit like a passport, and they are connected to your book. And unless it's your own ISBN, somebody else owns it. And I don't think that is ideal when it comes to your books. I prefer to have my own ISBN, and that way I can publish with that ISBN on all other sites. And I can publish on Amazon with that ISBN, and then on Draft2Digital or Ingram Spark with the same ISBN. And you need a different ISBN for each format. So your ebook has a different ISBN to your paperback, and if you want to make the book in a different size, that would require another ISBN as well. So I have 2 ISBNs for my book, The Homeboss Toolkit, because one is for the ebook and one is for the paperback. And I use those same ISBNs for Amazon and for all the other platforms. And I know that way this ISBN belongs to me, and that way I have no problems. And the other thing you need to know about ISBNs is that you should always buy your ISBN from the official provider of ISBNs in your country. So here in the UK, it's a company called Nielsen, and in the US, I think it's Bowker. And please check in your country what the official ISBN provider is, because you can buy them from smaller companies that sell them maybe a bit cheaper. I don't know how they do it, but it's not your ISBN because it's not your imprint. It will have them as the publishing company, and that's not what I wanted. I wanted my publishing company, which is Homeboss Media, to be the publisher for my books. So that is why you should always go with the official provider, because the others are not official. They're not your ISBNs. They will, I don't know, publish under their imprint, and that's not what you want to do. So check your official provider of ISBNs. And ISBNs are not cheap. If you're just buying one for one book, it can be quite expensive. It's probably like £100 or something like that. But if you buy them in bulk, it becomes much cheaper. So I bought 10 ISBNs for the Homeboss, and I've already used 3 of them for my ebook, my print book, and for my workbook. And they go quite quickly, and by buying 10 in bulk, it works out a lot cheaper. And for my other book brands, I buy a set of 100 ISBNs, because then they work out at about £3 each, which is a lot better if you have a lot of books to publish. And that's all about ISBNs. And the other thing I wanted to tell you about, which was quite interesting, there was a problem with Amazon when I published my book. So what happened is that I published my main book, the Homeboss Toolkit, and I also wrote the companion workbook. And I published both on Amazon as paperbacks, and it was fine. The workbook went live first, and then I got an email from Amazon. And that was a bit of a shock, because whenever you get an email from Amazon, because there are so many problems going around and account terminations, and sometimes you get a little bit panicky when you receive an email from Amazon. So the email from Amazon basically said this: we checked your files and found issues you need to fix before your book can be published on KDP. Cover. The cover references an accompanying disc, audiobook, ebook or video bundled set. If this ISBN was previously used for the publication of a bundled item, then please provide a new ISBN and files. So getting that email was a little bit strange because I thought, what's wrong with the title? There are no repetitive words. There are no excessive keywords in the title. I wasn't quite sure what that could be. But I've been doing this for quite a while, since 2019, and from hearing other people's problems and emails from Amazon, I kind of had a feeling what that could be, and because I wasn't sure, I thought I'd better contact Amazon, and I didn't want to contact them by email because you don't know if that email gets lost. I just wanted to resolve it as quickly as possible. So I tried to reach them on their chat box feature, and actually I'm so glad I did because it was a really easy way to contact Amazon, and I'm very happy how they dealt with my query. So basically I went onto the help section on Amazon, and you go on the left hand side and you choose the topic of your question, and then they give you an option whether you want to email, whether you want them to call you back, or the chat. And I chose the chat, and somebody answered very quickly, and I explained to them about the email. I sent them a copy of what the email was, and the person on the chat didn't know what the problem was either. And he said, let me check with the team on KDP and I'll get back to you. And he was true to his word. He got back to me the same day, and he said that the problem was the word toolkit. Because, as you know, a toolkit is a set of tools, and Amazon KDP thought that it might cause a confusing experience for the buyer. I don't know how somebody can confuse a book with a toolkit, but that was their reply. And I kind of get it. I kind of understand what they mean. And I was prepared to change my title to something different. But I said, well, you have already published my other book, my companion workbook. It has the same title. It includes the word toolkit. And you didn't send me an email with a problem about that book. It's already live. And if I change the title, I also have to change all the references in my book in the interior. Is there any way that you could possibly publish the book as it is? And he was really friendly and understanding, and he said, well, I will have to ask the team and I get back to you as soon as I can. And it took about another day or so, and then they replied and they said that yes, it's okay, they can publish the book with the existing title. Phew. So that was a relief, because it wasn't a problem to change the title, but then I would have had to unpublish the companion workbook. I would have had to change the covers, the inside of the book, and it was just a lot of palaver. And I thought, thank God they accepted the book as it is, and I'm really happy that they did. And I'm very happy with their customer service. It was very smooth, very quick replies, and it was a good experience. So I think that if any of you receive any emails from Amazon, try the chat feature. Be polite, be friendly, because that person is trying to help you. And that way you can resolve a lot of the problems that you can sometimes have on Amazon. In this case, it was resolved really quickly and to my satisfaction. So I'm very grateful that it all went well. So that is my experience in publishing the HomeBoss Toolkit. I'm very happy with the book, and I'm so glad I had the experience of publishing a written book, a non-fiction book, and I think I will continue writing more non-fiction books from now on. And I will also still create low content books, of course, because I enjoy both. So I hope that this video was interesting and that you learned something, hopefully, because I think that creating books for Amazon is great, but it really helps to know that there are alternatives out there as well. And if you enjoy publishing books, I also made a very interesting video about how to create good titles and subtitles for your book. And I leave that video here so you can look at it. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.